Hi everybody, today we're going to be looking at Plastisol Transfers. Keep watching. Now, depending on where you are in the world will depend if you can get hold of Plastisol Transfers very cheaply. Let me explain a little bit what it is. A Plastisol Transfer is very much a screen printed transfer done by not yourselves but by another company who you buy from them, and then you buy them in pre-completed designs, and all you have to do is apply them to your t-shirts. Now I've got a few here, let me show you a few examples. Right, so I've ordered a few of these sample packs here, and as you can see they come in various different designs. They're all reversed and all ready to go. They're all on a backing paper. Now I don't know if you can see, but these are actually Plastisol inks. So you can't actually produce these on your own PC. These have to be actually screen printed onto these transfer papers, so to speak, and then obviously cut to size and then sent off to you. And all you have to do is to lay them face down on your actual garment and print them in the normal way you do normal transfers. But the difference is, as I say, these are Plastisol inks, which is normally used in the screen printing process, so they're very, very hard wearing. And as I say, you'll see in a minute when we press them, you get an actual professional result. Now, a lot of people swear by Plastisol Transfers, and they have good reason to. For the simple being, it is just like a screen printed t-shirt when you actually use Plastisol Transfers. The downside of it, as I said to you, is depending on where you are in the world, especially here in the UK, Plastisol Transfer technology is not really here yet, although there are companies that do it, and the more colours you use, the higher the cost goes for your actual transfers to get printed. So if you was using just sort of single colour, or maybe two colour, and you wanted like a little breast logo, they could print them on a large sheet, for example, and then you can cut them to size and then print them individually. But if you wanted a large multicoloured across the whole of your t-shirt type image, they're obviously no good for one-off applications, because the makers actually have to produce a screen print, which you probably know, which is the big frame, for each of the individual colours, and then actually screen print them onto that transfer carrier paper as you saw there, in the same way of screen printing on a t-shirt. Anyway, so let's have a little go. I've got these here. These ones I've got here, various types there. Some are coloured, some are just plain coloured, and I think there's a couple of glittery looking ones there as well. These I'm going to press at 180 degrees centigrade for about 15 seconds, and then we'll do a warm peel and just peel them off, and let's see the difference in quality with these Plastisol Transfers. I'm just going to place this little sweatshirt type effort I've got here on the plantain, and just briefly line it up. I've got a little carrier sheet here, and the first one I'll probably do, I don't know, let's try this yellow and black one here, and we'll put that, I don't know, maybe in the centre, and give that a little press there. Well, in actual fact, what I'll do, I'll put a couple on, so we'll logo them all up. Again, they're all going to be pressed for the same time, so it's just a little exercise. And let's push these down for the recommended time. Now again, I've not actually done a test run of all these, so you're seeing it fresh with me as though you were doing it for the first time as well. Again, 15 seconds at 180 degrees C. And here we go, time's up. Let's have a little look and see what they look like. We'll try and do a hot peel for you. Very nice. That one didn't come out very well. And that's lovely, that one. As I say, this is a glittery sort of looking one. That didn't really take well at all, as you can see there. Right, well there you go. You can get nice and close to that there, as you can probably see. We've got a real nice looking transfer there. Dual colour, as you can see, which is yellow and black. And texture's very nice as well on the actual garment there. And even down to the thin piping around the edge there, I'm sure you can see is actually very, very nice. And we've also got this little, there's the size of it compared to my thumb. It's quite a nice small little logo there. Multicolour. As I say, for every colour that you see on this garment here, in fact, it's pulled just a little bit up on them little white ones I can see there. Yeah, just a little one. Every one of these different colours you can see here would have required a different screen print being made for them. So this would be a very expensive one to create for a t-shirt, a single or even a batch of t-shirts. You'd have to order quite a big batch. This one wouldn't have been too bad because that was just 2 colours, as you can see in that, so that one probably wouldn't have been too bad. And this one here didn't take fully whatsoever, as you can see, look, but I'm sure it might have come out all right. But again, I don't know how old these transfers are, but there's not a lot I can do about that. But the actual feel of the transfers themselves are actually very nice. So let's just do a couple more. And of course, what I like to do now and again is check me temperature of my heat plate. Now, as you can see in the centre there, we're virtually up to temperature. That's 175. I also go around the perimeter. Again, that one is 176 degrees. Again, in the next corner, that one again is 176. And the bottom corner down there, a couple of degrees less, that's 174, that one. And that one there we go, 175. So they're all within about a degree of each other. So I know for a fact that that one in the middle that played up wasn't the heat press. So I've just proved that point now. So I've got another one of them. So I will try another one. Again, I don't know how old these are, or whether these speciality ones require a different temperature. So let's turn this over and try a couple more. Again, I've already pre-pressed the garment, so I'm not too worried about that. Lay that down on there like that. And let's try, there's a big one here, we've got a big one here, look. We'll have a go at this one. This is quite a colourful one. Put that one down there. Here's another dual colour one, which is yeah, red and black by the looks of it. We'll try that one down there. Is that the right way up? Yep, that way. Place that there. And this will be just a normal white one, so we'll put that one on there as well. Right, so realistically, you don't really need to cover these up as well, although I do normally put something down to protect the t-shirt. We're only playing about, so let's see what these three do. So as I say, the more colours you have in your design for a Plastisol ink, the more money, and it really does go up quite a lot because they've got to produce an individual screen, ink screen, for each individual colour. Right, okay then. Let me pull these off here now. That one's not happened again. That was black writing on a black t-shirt, I didn't realise that. That one's not happened again. Right, I'm going to let these two cool down for a second, just to see if that makes a difference. I don't know, I've never used these before, so Plastisols are all new to me as well. And again, I don't know, as I say, whether or not these need special treatment, these glittery looking ones. So let's just put these to one side for a minute. So far, the plain ones have come out absolutely lovely, so it could be that they might require a slightly different temperature or time or whatever. So let's put this up here. Right, so I've let these basically cool down to the touch in case they was maybe cold peel, I don't know, so we'll give it a go anyway. Ah, there we go, look, that's come out on the cold peel, there we go. I don't know about this one. Yes. There we go. Let's show you these close up. And that's these ones here, and as you can see there, that one's actually come out perfectly. Now you might just see the edge there, and that was where I initially tried to pull it up when it was warm, and I noticed it could have come up. But as you can see there, it's actually gone down, and everything's laid down absolutely lovely on that. And this is what you're looking for there. That one I pressed the black writing on a black t-shirt, so we can't really see that writing. This one here, as I say, this one started to pull up and all, but again, this has come out absolutely lovely. In a way, this finish you've got here with this writing is very similar, when you're using a single colour, it's very similar in feel to having a vinyl printed t-shirt. And the only reason that you really need to have colours or different patterns in your t-shirt, like this one for example, it's got 2 different colours, is one is if you have a solvent printer, which are very, very expensive and not really for the beginner. 2, you could use t-shirt transfers, as I do, as a cheap option, which will give you a pretty similar result as that. But as I say, I would have printed one off, but I haven't got one the same design as this. This is just a example they've sent me. And 3, you could have it screen printed, which is going to be very expensive the more colours you use. And the feel again is, say, very similar to vinyl. So, you know, if you've got a design and you're worried about it wearing off, or it don't feel like a nice finish, Plastisol ink transfers do feel very similar. As you can probably see though, I think they got a very similar feel to vinyl. But the only difference with vinyl is you can't have sort of 2 colours fading into each other like that. You're best off with simple colours and simple images that you can make with vinyl, and that gives a very similar feel to vinyl. So yeah, they're not too bad. It's quite a nice finish. Nothing I haven't seen before in vinyls. And I've also seen this sort of finish in the transfer papers, although these are probably going to be a lot harder wearing than the transfer papers. Although I've got transfer papers which go back 6 years on t-shirts and they're still fine. I suppose one of the only benefits, or one of the main benefits you're going to get with Plastisol transfers, is that when you're dealing with transfer papers, as I do, transfer papers you really have to wash on a cool wash, which is probably 40 degrees centigrade or below, and you really should iron any printed garment inside out, and you're not really supposed to tumble dry them, although we have. With these transfers, for example, as it being the Plastisol ink, I would imagine that you could wash these at the higher temp, which is 60 degrees centigrade, and there shouldn't be any problem with these fading or cracking or losing colour or whatever. So yeah, they're a nice little product, but only if you can get them relatively cheaply. For doing single one-offs, they're no good at all. They're ideal if you've got a design or a logo for a company and they want about 100 or 200 t-shirts or even more. Then yes, you could probably have a company run them off on the Plastisol inks, and then you just apply them to your garment. That's if you've got a big single colour job. As soon as you start getting into multiple colours, the price really does escalate. So have a look in your country. If you're in the USA or Canada, you can probably get them pretty reasonably cheap. But over here in the UK and in Europe at the moment, they're not very cheap, and the price really needs to come down to make them a feasible example. But they have got drawbacks. The drawbacks are that you can't use them on single little one-off designs for short runs. They're really for the larger run or for a low colour design to keep the cost down. Okay then, thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed this little video, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye for now.